Grand Admiral Tejo sat in the large meeting room of the Galactic Empire's main ship. He was not happy. His green-scaled fingers tapped on the shiny black table as he stared at the screen in front of him. The other leaders in the room stayed quiet. They knew Admiral Tejo had a bad temper. "This cannot be right," Tejo said finally. His deep voice echoed in the room. "Show me again." Science Officer Minji stepped forward. Her blue skin gave off a soft glow when she was nervous, and right now she was glowing brightly. "Yes, Admiral," she said with a small bow. She touched the screen controls, and the images started again. The screen showed a small blue planet, Earth. Humans had lived there for thousands of years. The Empire had been watching them for a long time. Humans were still very young in space travel. They had only gone to their own moon a few times. They had sent some small robots to nearby planets. That was all. But now, something had changed. 3 days ago, our watchers near Earth's moon saw something strange, Minji explained. She pointed to a bright flash on the screen. It was a new kind of energy. We thought they were just doing some science tests. She moved her hand and the screen changed to show another image. But yesterday, this happened. Everyone in the room watched as a small human ship appeared near Earth. Then, in just 1 second, it disappeared and reappeared near Mars, a planet that was millions of miles away. "They jumped through space," Minji said. "They have made faster-than-light travel work." The room went completely quiet. Taijo's yellow eyes narrowed. Intelligence Director Do-hyun, a tall alien with 4 arms, broke the silence. "This is impossible," he said. "No species learns this quickly. The pattern is always the same. First, they learn to go to space. Then, they slowly figure out how to go to other planets. Then after many, many years, they learn how to travel faster than light." Do-hyun held up one of his hands, counting on his long fingers. "The Arcturians took 300 years after their first spaceflight. We took nearly 500 years. Even the Viridians, who were the fastest before now, needed 47 years. The humans did it in 1 week," Minji said. She showed more pictures on the screen. From first idea to making it work, 7 Earth days. No one spoke. This news changed everything. The Empire ruled many star systems by having better technology than everyone else. They watched new species as they grew. When a species learned faster than light travel, the Empire would decide, make friends with them, keep them from growing more, or take over their planet. But no one had ever learned so fast. "How?" Tejo finally asked. "How did they do this?" Minji pulled up a picture of a human woman. She looked young, with dark hair tied back from her face. She wore simple clothes and glasses. "We think it started with this human, Dr. Jiwoo Park," Minji said. "She is a scientist who studies very small things, atoms and the parts inside atoms. 1 week ago, she wrote a paper about how these small parts might connect across space." Minji showed pages filled with human writing and simple drawings. Other human scientists at first said her ideas were too simple. They didn't believe her. "Too simple?" Do-hyun asked, leaning forward. "Yes," Minji said. "And that's what makes this so amazing. Dr. Park found a simple answer that our scientists have missed for thousands of years. A new way to think about space and time." Minji touched the screen again and a simple drawing appeared. "All our scientists thought you needed huge amounts of energy to bend space, or special matter that might not even exist. But Dr. Park found a different way, a simpler way." Tejo stood up. He was very tall, almost 7 feet, and his armor made soft clicking sounds as he moved. "Show me the ship they built." Minji changed the screen again. A small silver ship appeared. It was not fancy or big. It looked simple, almost like a child's toy compared to the Empire's giant ships. "This is it?" Tejo asked. "This tiny thing can move faster than light?" "Yes," Minji said. "They don't need a big ship. The way they do it is different from our way. They don't push through space. They step around it." Do-hyun made a noise that showed he didn't believe it. "That's not possible. Space doesn't work that way. It seems humans found a way to make it work that way." Minji said quietly. One of the other officers spoke up. If they can learn this so quickly, what else might they learn? We should destroy their planet now while we still can. Taejo looked at the officer. The officer quickly looked down. No, Taejo said. We will not attack. Not yet. Then what will we do? Do-hyun asked. We should at least stop them from going further. Use the containment protocols. Put shields around their solar system so they cannot leave. Taejo looked back at the screen, at the simple silver ship that had done something his people thought was impossible. It's too late for containment, he said. They have already done what should not be possible. If they learn we are trying to trap them, who knows what they might do next? What else they might discover? He turned to his officers. Prepare my personal ship, the fastest one. I want to see these humans myself. Admiral, Do-hyun said. That is not safe. Let me send. I want to see them myself, Taejo repeated, his voice leaving no room for argument. I want to understand how they think, how they could solve in 1 week what took our best minds 500 years. He looked back at the screen, at the small blue planet and its simple silver ship. I want to know what else they are capable of, Taejo said, before they find us first. As the officers hurried to follow his orders, Taejo stayed looking at the screen. For the first time in his 300 years of life, he felt something new. Not anger. Not pride. Fear. The humans had done something impossible, and they had done it so easily, so quickly. If they could do this in 1 week, what would they do next week or next month? For the first time in 2,000 years, the Galactic Empire faced a species that might grow faster than they could control. A young species that looked at the universe with fresh eyes and saw things the Empire had missed. The Empire had always been the teacher. Now they might become the students, or worse, they might become the hunted. Taejo touched the screen, zooming in on the image of Dr. Ji-woo Park, such a simple-looking being. So soft, so short-lived. And yet, in 1 week, she had changed the future of the galaxy. Prepare for first contact, Taejo ordered as he walked toward the door. And prepare for war. I hope we won't need the second option, but with these humans, we must be ready for anything. Dr. Ji-woo Park sat at her desk drinking her 3rd cup of coffee. She was tired. She had not slept much in the past week. 1 week ago, she had been just a normal scientist that few people knew about. She worked at Seoul National University, teaching students and doing research that most people did not understand. Now everyone on Earth knew her name. Dr. Park? A young assistant poked his head through the door. They need you in the big meeting room right now. Ji-woo sighed and stood up. As she walked down the long hallway of the United Nations building, people stopped to look at her. Some smiled, some looked worried. All of them moved out of her way with respect. When she entered the large meeting room, 50 important people from around the world were waiting. They were presidents, generals, and other scientists. They all turned to look at her. General Hyunwoo, a tall man with a serious face, walked over to her. He had been put in charge of Earth's defense after Ji-woo's discovery. Doctor, we have news, he said quietly. He handed her a tablet computer. Ji-woo looked at the screen and felt her heart beat faster. The image showed a large object moving toward Earth from deep space. It was not a rock or a natural object. It was clearly a ship, an alien ship. Are we sure this is real? She asked, looking up at General Hyunwoo. Could it be a mistake? We are sure, the general said. 3 different space stations have seen it. It's big, about 1 mile long, and it's coming straight for Earth. President Sunho, the head of the United Nations, stood up at the front of the room. He was a calm man who had been a good leader during this crazy week. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, 1 week ago Dr. Park showed us how to travel faster than light. We were excited. We were planning our first trip to other stars, but it seems we have caught someone's attention first. The room was very quiet. Ji-woo felt all eyes turn to her again. Dr. Park, President Sunho said, tell us what you think. Ji-woo walked to the front of the room. On the big screen behind her, the alien ship glowed as a small dot of light. "My team has been watching this ship since we first saw it yesterday," she said. "It's using a type of engine we don't understand yet. They can go very fast, but right. Now they are going slow. They started slowing down when they reached the edge of our solar system." "Are they going to attack us?" asked a woman from the Russian government. Jiwoo shook her head. "We don't think so. If they wanted to attack, they could have appeared right next to Earth without warning. They could have been in our sky before we knew they were coming. But instead, they are coming slowly. They want us to see them coming." "So what do they want?" someone else asked. General Hyunwoo spoke up. "We think they want to talk. Why else come slowly? They're giving us time to get ready to meet them." At that moment, the doors at the back of the room burst open. Dr. Minseo, Jiwoo's research partner and best friend, ran in. His hair was messy, and his glasses were falling off his nose. He was holding his own tablet, and his face was full of excitement. "They're talking to us," he shouted. "The aliens, they're sending a message." The room erupted in noise as everyone started talking at once. President Sunho had to shout for quiet. "Dr. Minseo," he said when the room was silent again. "What kind of message?" Minseo hurried to the front of the room and connected his tablet to the big screen. The image of the alien ship disappeared, replaced by a series of patterns, lines, circles, and numbers. "It's math," Minseo explained, his eyes wide with excitement. "They're using math to talk to us. Math is the same everywhere in the universe. 1 + 1 = 2, no matter what planet you're from. They're sending basic math first to show us they are smart and friendly. Then they're building up to more complex ideas." "Can we understand what they're saying?" President Sunho asked. "Not all of it yet," Minseo admitted. "But we're working on it. They're telling us about themselves, I think. And they're asking about us." "How long until they get here?" General Hyunwoo asked. Minseo checked his tablet. 2 days, maybe a little less." President Sunho straightened his tie, a habit he had when he was thinking hard. "Then we have 2 days to get ready for the most important meeting in human history." He looked at Jiwoo. "Dr. Park, your discovery has pushed us into the big universe, hundreds of years earlier than we expected. I hope we're ready." Jiwoo looked at the patterns on the screen. She felt both excited and afraid. "I don't think anyone can ever be fully ready for something like this, Mr. President," she said honestly. "But I think we should remember something important. They came to us. They were watching us. They saw what we did with faster than light travel, and they decided to come meet us right away." "What does that tell you?" asked General Hyunwoo. "It tells me they're surprised," Jiwoo said, "or maybe even worried. I think we did something they didn't expect." "You mean make a faster-than-light drive?" President Sunho asked. "No," Jiwoo said. "I mean make one so quickly, in just 1 week." The room was quiet again as everyone thought about what this meant. "Do you think they're afraid of us?" a Japanese minister asked. Jiwoo looked back at the alien message on the screen. "Maybe. Wouldn't you be afraid of someone who could learn so quickly?" Later that night, Jiwoo and Minseo were alone in their lab. They had been working for hours trying to understand more of the alien message. "Jiwoo," Minseo said suddenly, "I've been thinking about your equations, the ones that made faster-than-light travel possible." "What about them?" Jiwoo asked, not looking up from her computer. "Well, the way you solved the problem? It's so simple, so elegant. It makes me think there might be other problems we could solve the same way." Jiwoo finally looked up. She smiled. "I've been thinking the same thing. The faster-than-light drive might be just the beginning." "What do you mean?" Minseo asked. Jiwoo's eyes were bright with excitement. "My equations don't just explain how to move through space faster than light. They show a deeper truth about how the universe works. If I'm right, we might be able to do things that seem like magic." "Like what?" Jiwoo leaned forward. "Like talk across any distance without delay. Like move things with our minds. Like make energy from nothing." Minseo's eyes grew wide. "That's impossible. A week ago, you would have said faster than light travel. Was impossible too," Jiwoo reminded him. "But here we are." Outside the lab window, the stars shone brightly, and somewhere up there, Aliens were coming to meet the humans who had done the impossible in just 1 week. The alien ship named Celestial Harmony hung in the sky above Earth like a giant crystal. Sunlight bounced off its smooth surface, making beautiful patterns that people could see from the ground. Admiral Taijo stood at the front window of his ship, looking down at the blue planet. "They are watching us," he said quietly. "Yes, Admiral," said Communications Officer Hana. "They have many devices pointed at our ship. They are taking pictures and trying to learn about us. And they have sent us a message," Hana continued, sounding surprised. "They want us to land." Taiyo turned around. "Land? On their planet?" "Yes. They have picked a special place for us to land. They say they will meet us there." Intelligence Director Do-hyun, who had come with Taijo on this important trip, shook his head. "This must be a trap," he said. "No young species would invite strangers to land on their planet so easily." "Where do they want us to land?" Taijo asked. "At a place called the United Nations headquarters in New York," Hana said, reading from her screen. "It is where all their countries come together to solve problems and make decisions. They say they will have their leaders there to welcome us." "Analysis?" Taijo asked, looking at Do-hyun. Do-hyun thought for a moment. "Either they are very brave or they do not understand danger," he said. "This United Nations place is where they work together. Maybe they want to show us they are united. Or maybe they want to show us they are not afraid," Science Officer Minji added quietly. She had been quiet for most of the trip, studying the information they had about humans. Taijo walked to the center of the bridge, thinking. In the 7 days since the humans had made their faster-than-light drive, they had not stopped working. The Empire's watching devices had seen new energy patterns. On Earth, the humans were building new technology very quickly. They were making weapons. They were making new kinds of computers. They were even trying to make devices that could read minds. They were learning too fast. "Send a message back," Taiyo decided. "Tell them we accept their invitation. We will land." A few hours later, Taijo led a small group of Empire officers down the ramp of their ship. They had landed in a large open space in the middle of New York City. Thousands of humans stood watching, kept back by barriers and police. The aliens walked slowly toward a big building where more humans waited. Taijo could feel the eyes of millions of humans on him. Many were watching in person. Billions more were watching on screens around the world. Inside the big United Nations building, a large room was filled with more humans. They were quiet as the aliens walked down the center aisle. At the end, a small group waited. President Sunho, General Hyunwoo, and a small woman that Taijo recognized from the Empire's files, Dr. Jiwoo Park. "On behalf of all humans on Earth, I welcome you," President Sunho said. His voice was carried through speakers so everyone could hear. Taijo pressed a button on his armor, and a small device began to translate his words into human language. "I am Grand Admiral Taijo of the Galactic Empire," he said. "Our empire controls 3 arms of this galaxy. We have been watching your world for many years, waiting for you to reach a level of technology that would make it right for us to meet you." "And our faster-than-light drive was that level?" Dr. Park asked. She looked directly at Taiyo, not showing any fear. Taijo looked at her with his yellow eyes. "Not just the drive, Dr. Park, but how quickly you made it. No species in all our history has gone from idea to working faster than light travel in just 1 week. Maybe your empire has been thinking too hard about the problem," she said with a small smile. General Hyunwoo stepped forward. "Admiral, we are happy you came to talk to us, but our devices have seen more of your ships hiding in our solar system. Why are they hiding if you came to be friends?" The human crowd began to talk all at once, surprised by this news. Taijo felt respect for the humans. Their watching devices were better than he had thought. "We are being careful," Taijo admitted. "Your species is new to us. We don't know what you might do." "The same is true for you," President Sunho said calmly. "Which is why we have taken our own steps to be safe." Dr. Park touched a small device on her wrist. Suddenly, big screens appeared all around the room. They showed hundreds of small objects surrounding each of the Empire's hidden ships. These are small ships with our faster-than-light drives, she explained. We made many of them in the last 2 days. Each one carries a special device. If we turn them on, they will stop any faster-than-light jumps in our solar system. Your ships would not be able to leave. Tejo felt his body go stiff. This was impossible. The humans could not have made such technology so quickly. Even the Empire's best scientists had not made devices that could stop faster-than-light travel. Unless you have not just found a way to travel faster than light, Tejo said slowly, understanding now. You have found a deeper truth about how the universe works. Dr. Park's smile grew bigger. We call it the unified field theory. Faster-than-light travel was just the first thing we could do with it. We have been very busy this week. The room was very quiet. Humans and aliens alike were watching the two leaders face each other. What else can you do with this unified field theory? Tejo asked carefully. Instead of answering with words, Dr. Park held out her hand. A small ball of light appeared above her palm. It hung there, glowing softly. This is pure energy, she said, made from nothing, no fuel, no radiation, just energy. The ball of light began to float around the room. It moved over the heads of the watching humans, then circled Tejo and his officers. We can also do this, Dr. Park said. She closed her eyes for a moment. Suddenly, Tejo heard her voice inside his head. We can send thoughts across any distance. No radio waves, no delay. Just direct mind-to-mind contact. Tejo took a step back. In all his years commanding the Empire's ships, he had never felt fear like this. The humans had done more than just make a faster ship. They had found secrets of the universe that the Empire had been looking for since it began. Why are you showing us this? Tejo asked. Aren't you afraid we might attack you now, before you grow too powerful? Dr. Park smiled again, but this time, her smile was sad. We are showing you this because we want peace, not war. We want to learn and grow. We hope your Empire wants the same things. She stepped closer to Tejo. But we are also showing you so you understand one important thing. We learn quickly. Very quickly. If your Empire tries to hurt us, we will learn even more, even faster. And we don't know yet what else we might discover. President Sunho spoke, up again. Admiral Tejo, we invite the Galactic Empire to be our friends and teachers. We have much to learn from you. And perhaps you have some things to learn from us too. Tejo looked at the small human woman who had changed the future in just 1 week. Then he looked at her ball of energy, still floating in the air. And finally, he looked at the screens showing the humans' defensive ships, ready to trap the Empire's fleet if needed. The humans had given him no choice. But strangely, he found he was not angry about it. The Galactic Empire accepts your invitation, Tejo said. Let us see what our species can learn from each other. As the room erupted in cheers, Tejo sent a private message to his fleet. Stand down all weapons. Prepare for diplomatic exchange. The humans had won this first meeting not with weapons, but with their minds. With their ability to learn faster than any species the Empire had ever seen. And for the first time in his long life, Tejo felt excited about what might happen next. The emergency session of the Imperial High Council convened with unprecedented haste. Admiral Tejo's report had sent shockwaves through the Empire's leadership. On the central dais, Emperor Minseok himself had descended from the Eternal Throne to address the crisis personally, something that had occurred only twice in the last millennium. You're certain of this assessment? The Emperor asked, his ancient voice barely above a whisper yet carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. Tejo bowed deeply. Without doubt, Your Luminance. The humans have not merely discovered FTL technology. They've uncovered fundamental principles that our civilization has missed for 50,000 years. Science Minister Yuna stepped forward, her ceremonial robes unable to hide her agitation. This is preposterous. Our scientific tradition is unbroken since the Dawn era. How could primitives who still fight over resources on their single world discover something our greatest minds missed? Perhaps because they are still primitive, Intelligence Director Dohyun suggested. They approach problems differently. They haven't been constrained by our established frameworks of thought. The Emperor raised a gnarled hand for silence. Continue, Admiral. The human physicist, Dr. Park, demonstrated capabilities. That should be theoretically impossible, Taijo explained. During our meeting, she manipulated quantum fields with precision that our best scientists cannot match. When I requested a demonstration of their FTL technology, they didn't use a drive system as we understand it. Instead, they simply rewrote local spacetime parameters, Minister Yuna scoffed. Impossible. I witnessed it, Taijo insisted. A human vessel traveled from Earth to their outer planets and back in minutes, without any detectable energy signature. They're not breaking physical laws, they're operating on a deeper understanding of those laws. The Emperor turned to a shadowy figure at the edge of the chamber. Hi, Oracle G1, you have been silent. What do your probability matrices indicate? The Oracle stepped into the light, her cybernetically enhanced brain interfacing directly with the Imperial predictive engines. The models have collapsed, Your Luminance. For the first time in Imperial history, we cannot calculate probable futures with any accuracy. The humans represent a genuine singularity event. Murmurs of alarm spread through the council. How did they advance so quickly? Someone demanded. Taijo activated a holographic display. According to their records, which we've verified, Dr. Park published her initial paper on quantum entanglement just 8 Earth days ago. It was remarkably simple, elegant even. Within hours, scientists across their world began expanding on her work. Within days, they had working prototypes. Their collaborative scientific method and decentralized research approach created a cascade effect of discovery. And now? The Emperor asked. They're advancing exponentially, Taijo replied grimly. They've already developed technologies that we considered theoretical impossibilities. They're redefining the fundamental constants of physics. And they've begun exploring the stars. The Emperor closed his eyes, processing this information. When he opened them again, his decision was clear. Prepare for full diplomatic engagement. If we cannot contain them, we must ally with them. The alternative is obsolescence. 5 years later, Dr. Jiwoo Park stood on the observation deck of the Harmony Station, a massive structure orbiting the diplomatic neutral zone between Earth and the Galactic Empire. Below her, representatives from 300 formerly independent worlds mingled with human delegates in what had become the galaxy's most important political forum. Hard to believe it's only been 5 years, said President Sunho, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the galaxy. 5 years since we panicked. The oldest empire in known space, Dr. Park replied with a smile. Sometimes I wonder if we moved too quickly. We had no choice, General Hyunwoo, now Admiral Hyunwoo of the United Earth Defense Force, said as he joined them. If we'd developed more slowly, they would have had time to prepare containment protocols. Our speed was our salvation, Dr. Park nodded. Humanity's explosive technological growth had forced the Empire into cooperation rather than confrontation. The resulting alliance had transformed the galaxy's power structure, with Earth rapidly becoming the center of scientific advancement. The latest reports from the frontier sectors are promising, Hyunwoo continued. 17 more worlds have requested Earth scientific missions. The Empire's influence continues to wane as more species realize the benefits of our approach. And Admiral Taijo? Dr. Park asked. Still serving as the Empire's primary liaison, he's become our strongest advocate in the Imperial Court, surprisingly enough. A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. A holographic image of Taijo appeared. Before them, his formal Imperial attire now complemented by human design elements, a visible symbol of the changing times. Dr. Park, he greeted with a respectful nod. The Imperial Science Academy has finally approved your proposal for the Galactic Research Network. The Emperor himself has agreed to address the opening ceremony. That's excellent news, Admiral, she replied. There is more, Taijo continued. Our deep space observatories have detected unusual signals from the Andromeda Galaxy, patterns that suggest artificial origin. President Sunho raised an eyebrow. Another civilization? That far away? Potentially more advanced than even the Empire at its height, Taijo acknowledged. In the past, such a discovery would have been classified for centuries while we assessed the threat potential. But now, Dr. Park asked, now we find ourselves eager to share this discovery with our human allies, Taijo said with what passed for a smile among his species. Your perspective has proven valuable. After the transmission ended, Dr. Park turned back to the viewport, watching the diverse gathering below. Humans mingled freely with dozens of alien species, exchanging ideas that were already spawning new technologies, new philosophies, new possibilities. 5 years ago, we were confined to our solar system, she mused. Now we're preparing to reach beyond our galaxy. Thanks to your discovery, Sunho said. Dr. Park shook her head. Not just my discovery. It was humanity's greatest strength that made the difference. Not our FTL drive, not our weapons, not even our scientific insight. What then? Admiral Hyunwoo asked. Dr. Park watched as a group of human children demonstrated a game to young aliens, their laughter transcending species barriers. Our adaptability, our creativity, our willingness to question established wisdom and share knowledge freely. She smiled as a notification appeared on her personal device. Another breakthrough from the unified research team she led, combining human intuition with alien experience. The Empire panicked when we mastered faster than light. Travel in 1 week, she said. Imagine their reaction when they see what we'll accomplish in the next century.